3.3b is talking about two-way frequency tables. So two-way frequency table is used to show the frequency of data by organizing it into two categories. So it's similar to a Venn diagram, but it's just a different way of organizing your data. So in a table instead of using our circles. So over here in our Venn diagram, we have some information talking about students who have cell phones and tablets, and we are going to organize that data in our two-way frequency table. So we're talking about a group of students who were asked if they have a cell phone and a tablet. Of the 200 students surveyed, there are a total of 200 students we're talking about. 160 had a cell phone, 68 had a tablet, and of those, 57 had a cell phone. Let's just fill out all the information that they gave us. So to read a two-way frequency table, you follow the row title and the column title, and wherever they meet, that's what you're talking about. So if I want to talk about the total and the total, well, 200 is the total number of students the problem said. Okay, they tell us that a total of 160 students have a cell phone. So here's my cell phone, here's my total. So right here in this box, I'm going to put 160. Because again, that's how many total students had a cell phone. Well, they also say that there were 68 students that had a tablet. So here's my tablet row and my total column. So that total is 68. And then they tell us that 57 of those had a cell phone. So 57 students had a tablet and a cell phone. So here's where our tablet and our cell phone column meet. To fill in the rest, we're just going to use subtraction. So my tablet row should add up to be 68. So 68 minus 57 says that 11 students have no cell phone. Okay, my cell phone row should add up to be 160. Well, 160 minus 57 is 103. Okay, my total, right? So the students that don't have a tablet plus the students that have no tablet should be 200. So 200 minus 68 is 132. Well, the students who have no tablet, 132 minus 103 is going to leave us with 29. And then 11 plus 29 leaves us with 40 students who have no cell phone. So this is our two-way frequency table. Again, we filled out the given information, and then we used subtraction and addition to figure out our missing values. So it's just comparing students who have a cell phone to students who don't. So there are three types of frequencies we're going to talk about. So the conditional frequency will specify if it's conditioned upon the row or the column percentage. Okay, remember, horizontal is rows, vertical is your columns. The marginal frequency is the row or column total. So when we're looking at the marginal frequency, we're looking at the margins. Okay, so these are the sides. If you kind of think about a sheet of paper, the sides are the same as the margins. And the joint frequency is those four middle values, right? Where your event A and event B, not event A, not event B, are intersecting. So let's take a look at these. We're going to find these frequencies, and basically when it's asking you to find frequencies, it just wants you to find the percentages. So we're going to start off and we're going to focus on finding the relative frequency. So this is calculating the percentage in the table using the overall total. Okay, so here's our same frequency table from before, and we want to calculate the percentages based off the overall total of students. Well, remember that there are 200 total students. So if I'm looking at this box right here, and I want to figure out the percent of students who have a tablet and a cell phone, well, there were 57 students. So 57 out of 200 would be 28.5% once I divide. So 28.5% of the students have both a cell phone and a tablet. Well, there were 11 students with no cell phone, divided by the total of 200, leaves us with 5.5%. 5.5% of the students had no cell phone and had a tablet. For this total roll, well, a total of 68 students had a tablet. Well, 68 divided by 200 leaves us with 34% of students have a tablet. Okay, now would be a good time to pause the video and try to figure out the rest of these boxes. So here we have all of our percents calculated out. Again, we were just taking that number of students whatever it was for that particular box and dividing it by that overall total. That's how we found all of these percents. A good way to check your work, each row should add up to its total. So if we're looking 28.5 plus 5.5 equals 34%. That's what we want. 34% plus 66% equals 100%. Okay, so you can do that with all your rows and columns, just to double check your work if you want to. We also have those conditional frequencies. We have conditional frequencies based off of the rows. So we need to know the row totals in order to talk about this problem. So we know 68 had a tablet from our previous table, 132 had no tablet, and we're still talking about those 200 students. Okay, well, so all of these rows, that's automatically 100%. Right? Because that's what we're using. We're using that row total to figure out this conditional frequency. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 57, but this time we're going to divide it by the row total of 68, and that will leave us with 84%. Here we're going to take that number 11 students had a tablet and no cell phone, divide it by that row total of 68, and that's going to leave us with 16%. Okay, let's do one more. The people who had no tablet and a cell phone, well, there were 103 students, and we're basing this percentage off the row total, 132. Well, that will leave us with 78%. Okay, very quickly looking down here, the conditional frequencies based off columns. So here we need to know the column totals. So remember that 160 had a cell phone, 40 had no cell phone, and still that total of 200 students is what we're talking about. So this time we're going to take 57, divide it by that column total of 160, and that will leave us with 36%. Well, we've got 103 divided by 160, leaves us with 64%. Okay, notice how 36 and 64 would add up to be 100%. Let's try one more. 11 divided by that column total of 40 will leave us with 27.5%. This would be a good time to stop and see if you can fill out the rest of these frequencies. So here we have our conditional frequencies filled out. So conditional frequency, remember you have to figure out if it's talking about that row total or if it's talking about that column total. Okay. What we're going to look at is just being able to read a frequency table to answer some questions. So letter A, what percentage of students have a cell phone and a tablet? Well, here's where our tablet and our cell phone meet, and it looks like that percent is 28.5. So we're going to say that 28.5% of students have a cell phone and a tablet. Letter B, what percentage of students have no cell phone? Well, again, here we're looking at the column that have no cell phone, and that's 20% of students do not have a cell phone. 20%. Last but not least, the conditional frequency of people with tablets and phones to people who have tablets. So we are looking at the conditional frequency of people who have tablets and phones. So we're looking at this section where they have a tablet and a cell phone, and we're basing that off all the people who have a tablet. So here's all the people who have a tablet. So that's our conditional frequency of 57 divided by 68. So 57 is that total who have both a cell phone and a tablet. 68 is the total students who have a tablet. And 58 divided by 68 is going to leave us with 84. So the conditional frequency for this is 84%. Okay. So that's how we read our two-way frequency table to answer questions. So remember the relative frequency, that's based off of the overall total. Remember to answer the questions below and hit submit when you're done.